Previously on Katawa Shoujo. Welcome back to Act 2 of Katawa Shoujo. Oh, I loved this little scene there. I really liked it so much. My alarms beeping shattered the early morning quiet. The early morning quiet? The early morning's quiet? No. This, even though if I'm not native, I say that this sentence is wrong. Shattered the early morning quiet? Is this correct? Can somebody say that this is grammatically correct, even though I think it sounds strange? And I find myself wondering where to find the motivation to rise. Amy! 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 Do you really need more motivation than her? Class is still quite far off, but I agreed to run with Amy in the mornings. Really, I'm not that interested in running as a hobby or even as a possible life-lengthening exercise. Oh, you're still a dumbass! Why, man? I thought the video would show how much you enjoy it. More or less. However, I feel obligated to follow through on my promise to Amy yesterday, which is why I find myself throwing on some running shorts and a light t-shirt. Wouldn't one letter not just be enough? Oh yeah, and I recently found out I never recorded the mouse here. Yep, I never recorded it, and I pointed stuff out with it, but I totally forgot to enable capture mouse cursor. So, yeah. Which episode is this now? 12? 13, 40? I don't know, and I didn't realize that up until this point. I only go, before I uploaded it, I only go quick through it to see if the audio is in sync and if it's too loud or too low and stuff like that. And that's pretty all, and I never really paid attention if you can see the mouse cursor or not. But yeah, now we have a mouse cursor, and it's only the second act, and I expect it to be at least 3 more because, I don't know, either 3 acts or 5 acts. I don't know how many acts it has, but yeah. Anyway, let's go on. I think that's boring for you to listen to my things anyway. So let's see. The cool morning air caresses my face as the morning sunshine causes the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. As I make my way down to the track, an ugly thought strikes me. What if this is some sort of joke that Amy's playing on me? What? Would that surprise me? Really? Hell, I'd probably do it to the new guy too. Oh, come on. At the very least, I'm sure Amy and Rin made a bet on whether or not I'd actually show up. I feel a sense of trepidation as the track comes into view. I forgot to set up Chrome for my dictionary. You're late! I would seem that Amy's already there. What a relief. Not according to my watch. We both are early, in fact. Damn! You've got me there! Amy is sitting on the bleachers decked out in her running gear, waiting somewhat patiently for me. I'm glad you're actually here. I was afraid that this was a joke or something. Nah, I'd never make someone get up early for nothing. Plus, Win owes me 500 yen now. She didn't think you'd actually show up. I knew it! Nice to know Amy was on my side at least. Amy hops off the bleachers and begins stretching out. Well, after I saw this video, Amy is kinda small. Not as small as I expected, but he's obviously not double her size. He's 1/3 more her size, at most. She's remarkably lithe, almost like a dancer. I set out to stretch as well, but then realized that I don't exactly remember how to stretch probably. If I remember correctly, first you have to warm up and then you have to stretch. Well, that's what I got taught, more or less. It's been ages since I stretched for anything, if you don't count my one stint at running last week. And even then, I don't think I actually stretched beforehand. The specter of my long hospital stay rises up again. I can't say I was all that active before the hospital stay, though, so maybe I'm just being morose. Amy giggles as she watches me stretch out. No, Hisao. You've got to hold it for longer than that. I'm trying. It kinda hurts a little. Ha! That's because you're out of shape. You've got to get some flexibility in you. Like this. To demonstrate, Amy reaches down and puts her head through her legs. Can we please have a picture of this? I would really like to see that. God bless you, Amy. I see. Is that the sort of thing I should strive for? Of course! Flexibility is important for anyone. You'll be able to go faster the more you stretch out. Man, I should stretch myself also a little bit more. I will ask my sports gym... whatever. That makes no sense to me, but Amy seems to believe it's true. With Amy's help, I managed to stretch myself out properly. I can't help but notice that when she thinks about how to explain things to me, her mouth scrunches up in concentration. It's adorable. Not bad, Hisao. Come on, we'd better start running. We'll start off with just a mile, okay? That's 4 laps around the track. Got it? That sounds fine to me. This shouldn't be too hard, right? I don't know how many laps you managed last time. A hazy memory of running a mile for gym class surfaces in my mind. Yep, it wasn't that bad. Amy sets a pretty good pace, and I fall in behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Hisao? Roger. We round the first curve. Without incident though, I can already feel my heart rate increasing slightly. By the second curve, I started to breathe through my mouth. Amy doesn't even seem to be breaking a sweat. As if to punctuate her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Are you doing okay, Hisao? Never better! Oh really? Maybe I should speed up then, No! Wouldn't want you to overexert yourself. My heavy panting and breathing makes the statement less convincing than I had hoped. Amy simply smiles and turns around again. You're the boss, Hisao. We stay at this pace. I get the feeling that I'm being mocked. Just a little bit, maybe. If I were in such a terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. By the third lap, my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I'm also awash in my own sweat. Gross. We round the curve to start our fourth lap, and Amy looks back at me with a grin. Here we go! She takes off at blinding speed while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. Wait. While I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get to the first turn, she's already rounding the second. As I struggle across the back stretch, Amy continues running and catches up to me. Come on, Hiso, you can do it! I'd answer her, but I'm too focused on getting air into my lungs and ignoring the burning in my leg muscles. Part of me wants to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Amy keeps pace with me as I round the second turn and across the finish line. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. Alright. It's actually caused her shirt to turn slightly translucent. It seems she wears a black sports bra. Okay. I feel a vague stab of guilt for being the sort of guy who stares at a girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly I can't bring myself to care that much. There's nothing wrong to appreciate a girl in a perfect shape. That's only natural, isn't it? You always look up and down from someone you like the view of, kind of? No? Only me? Okay. Not bad for that first effort, Hiso. Kind of you to say so. Amy seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before we started running. It must have been the sprint that did it. Hey, I've got to get a few sprints in. You should walk around the track to cool down. Then we can stretch out and we're all done, okay? Sounds great. My legs are on fire, and my breathing is still heavy, but surprisingly, my heart seems to be taking the strain well. Another triumph of medical science, I suppose. You should put your hands behind your head, it makes it easier to catch your breath. And off she goes. Surprisingly, she's right. I begin to stroll around the track, happy to feel my breath coming back to me. There's a blur as Amy sprints by me. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she is on prosthetic, though, that is interesting. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. The art style got really smooth right here. I can only catch glimpses of it as she runs by, but her eyes seem to come alive with a sort of fiercey joy. It's as if there's nothing else in the world but her and the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, Amy seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerily as I near her. Feeling better, right? Actually, yeah. Do you want to take another lap around with me? I've got to cool down too, you know? Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Oh, what is it? Is it your manliness? Is it that you actually care about her, or what makes this feeling? Besides, if I sit down, there may be no getting back up again. Sure, why not? Yeah, great answer, man. Amy got her hands behind her head now as well, which makes her seem very relaxed. The positioning of her arms pulls her shirt upwards ever so slightly, that I can see a small strip of her belly. I do my best to act the gentleman and not look, but the contrast of her skin against her wet running shorts is rather arresting. So, how do you feel, Hiso? Surprisingly good actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize that it's true. Oh, really? Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. It's almost like I grow throughout my body that persists despite the soreness. Yeah, that's the runner's high. Runner's high? Yeah, it has something to do with adrenaline? Amy thinks for a moment as we walk trying to remember. Then she shrugs and grins at me. I don't actually remember. It's a good feeling though, isn't it? Better than sex, right? Why did she bring this suddenly up? And I have to say no. I think nothing can beat that. But maybe that's just my immatureness that speaks out of me. Nothing can beat sex right now, in my opinion. Sex is the best side thing in the world. Kind of. Yeah. It depends on what country you live. But in my country, yeah, it's more like this. But this tips me a little bit off. I open my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she just said. ... Amy watches my face for a few moments before bursting into laughter. Sorry. I couldn't resist. You're just too easy. I wonder if is she actually a virgin still, or can she really back this statement up in any way? That would be interesting to know, but maybe she is telling us anyway. Why did I agree to run with you again? Amy just laughs harder. She takes a hold of my forearm and tilts it, allowing her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time. Oh no! We'd better get a move on, Hiso. Class is in an hour, and I need to shower. Wow, that rhymes. I should probably do that as well. I need to see the nurse too. Maybe he'll write me a note for being late. Why do you need to see the nurse? Amy points to her prosthetics, as if that would explain everything. It's important to check for irritation. You know, from sweat or friction or anything. Normally I only go after practice, but if we are going to be doing these morning ones, then I guess I see them twice a day. Wait, so Amy has only started doing these ones since I showed up? If it's more convenient for you to run with me at a later time? Don't be silly. I've been meaning to start running in the morning for a while now. But if I didn't have a partner to run with, I'd be less likely to keep up a routine. It's always harder to blow off a commitment if you're going to let someone else down, you know? So you'll be my running partner for the mornings. Who is there for the evenings? We both need the exercise, so it all works out, don't you think? Yeah, perfect. Did it have to be me? Ah, Hiso, you're driving me nuts. Is every male protagonist in a visual novel like that? Really? Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Amy's pretty fun to hang out with. And she's right, I do need the exercise. Doctor's orders, even. Amy waves a quick goodbye to me. Right, I'm off. Come have lunch with us, okay? What? Lunch, you know, the meal in the middle of the day. Come, have it with us. Where? On the rooftop, you dum-dum. The rooftop. When likes it up there? When? At lunchtime? Lunchtime? When else? That was a silly question. Yeah, it was. Definitely was. I guess he's irritating because he can see what we can't see. She's totally sweated right now, and he can see through her clothes. So maybe he's a little bit irritated by it and can fumble about because all his blood is going way to another region of his body. Yeah, but I sort of felt the need to ask all three for completeness sake. This was a really good comeback. Amy laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, Hiso. See ya. Ah, you're not as dumb as I think you are. You can even make good jokes. With that, she takes off like a shot for the school building. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. I hurry back to my room and hop in the shower, only to find that the water takes a while to heat up. Kenji, do you want to take a shower with me? Come right in and... No homo, by the way. The shock of the cold water nearly kills me. And I spit all over my things here. I managed to warm the water a bit and spend some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart surprisingly feels the least bothered by the one. I suppose that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel like a bit of a wuss. I mean, at least I'd have an excuse beyond I'm out of shape if my heart were bothering me. Guess I have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Amy won't let me hear the end of it. The end of what? Of the thing that it was that running is better than sex? Which is not! It's only after I get out and dry myself off that I realize that I've only 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Kenji, crap! Oh, alright, no Kenji. I thought we would be naked again and stay in front of each other and being totally bro about it. The hands on the clock finally set me free from the tedium of yet another fun-filled class. Oh, I forgot to put the sarcasm in there. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Maybe doing these with Amy isn't such a hot idea after all. Don't be such a wuss, man. Still, the one's given me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some pre-packaged stuff when I moved in, and a good thing too. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream, but I've got an appointment to keep on the rooftop. It takes me a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Amy and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Amy among the bodies in the hallway, headed for the cafeteria. I step out of the door to the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face. Body almost makes my legs hurt less. Face and body almost. Maybe I'm upside down. Part of me wants to be surprised that Rin's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds? Couldn't you just look at them white side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? Aha! That caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe sideways. As Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky, I give up. Fortunately, Amy chose at that moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. She nearly takes the door off the hinge. Sorry it took me so long. There were a ton of people in line. She dropped the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I'd have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. If Rin's offended by Amy's comment, then she doesn't show it. Amy sniffs. How ungrateful of you. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another or if I'm witnessing the beginnings of a cat fight. Oh yeah, I totally forgot again that this is not a dude. Oh, I'm so mean. I'm so sorry. The two girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey Amy, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Amy looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some thought. After a deep and profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey Hisa, you're coming to the track meet, right? What? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off. God, she wants me in her club. She wants me in her club. Of course she wants. All want me in their clubs because I'm the only person, manly person left in this whole school building or what. There are other guys. We didn't met other guys yet except for Kenji. This bothers me just the insy tiny little bit. The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. I don't know yet? Honestly, Hiso, after I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you won't even show up at my track meet? What? After I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me. Does she want to let me feel guilt or something? Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Exactly that what I wanted to say. Exactly. Actually, she didn't even give me a choice in the matter. Wait, no, it didn't say that. She beams at me as if I just agreed to give her $1 million. So you will come after all. That's great. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too, so I'll make sure he comes, Amy. Good idea, Win. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over? I feel like I've just been conned, but not by these two. I've just been conned, but not by these two. More like by some outside force pushing me irreversibly toward my destiny. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily, otherwise I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Still, I suppose that I've got to show up now. I don't think that I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. What? And the end of what? When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. No, you didn't. I forgot? Well, you won't forget to come though, will you? Of course I won't. I even make a note on a calendar or something. We're not sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know. Unless time changes its course. It can do that? Win gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Amy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Oh, damn it, wrong voice. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could be happen, do you? I don't think we do we? Win shrugs again. That seems to be her default response to everything. Yep, you don't know the answer? Just shrug it off. The meaning of life? What do I know? But I want to find it out. Somehow. Eventually. One of these days. Maybe next life. I don't know. Would be good if I find it out this life. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. For Win, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize this now frightens me a bit. Wait, can I see that? Wait. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. This sounds great. The fact that I realize this frightens me a bit. I wonder if Amy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it though. Amy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time it's Amy who shrugs. It's like she's using Win's own weapons against her. Your response is the sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all. I'm really that predictable? Amy smiles, seems to border on gloating. Nah, it's that your unpredictability is pretty predictable. This actually makes sense, wow. Well, that's alright then. I don't get the chance to see whether Win's being serious or not as the bell rings. I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two was far too interesting. Amy jumps up, a look of panic on her face. Oh no! I need to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for the next class. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Win seems rather smug as she delivers this line, like she just won an argument. Amy ignores Win's comment.
Sorry, Hisao. Could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I've got to run.
Sure, no problem. Amy darts away with an urgency I'm starting to expect from her. I don't bother asking Win why she couldn't help. She already seems to be preoccupied with something else entirely as she wanders off. She's probably used to Amy taking care of cleanup, and for some reason I doubt Amy's ever raised the issue with her. Cleaning up from lunch doesn't take long. So I have plenty of time to toss our garbage and get to class. Misha greets me with a wave and a devious grin as I walk through the door. And by that note, I'm ending this episode. And hopefully the music could stop, but it doesn't. I hope you enjoyed it again so far. Leave a like if you did. And I hope I see you in the next episode. Stay tuned.